Gentlemen, we are on the top of the hour. We are at 3 p.m. and we would like to start on time as always. Thank you very much for joining this very important discussion which we want to take and discuss with you people. Thank you for accepting the invitation to participate in this discussion. For the interest of the uh, audience, I'm going to run through the presentation about ADIF for 2 minutes, and then we will start our discussion. So this is ADIF. ADIF is Atmanirbhar Digital India Foundation, as you can see, and this is this has a body for executive body. You can see the names. This is Murugavel Janakiraman, Sari Chahal, myself Ajay Data, Ritesh Malik, and Snehal. And we are trying to do day-to-day work for making this vision and mission achieved. The vision for this ADIF is to make India a world leader in the technology ecosystem by ensuring a level playing field for Indian organizations and to enable the flow of Indian and international investments to build products and services for Indian and global consumers. You will find the India and Indian many times whenever we are going to talk today also. Our mission is to ensure and work towards an open, fair, neutral, and democratic digital ecosystem by ensuring freedom of choice for consumers and organizations using digital products and services. We are very broad but very focused. Assist in formulation of frameworks and methodologies to solve the startup ecosystem's complex challenges. Support startups in scaling up their capabilities via technology collaborations and inflow of capital from Indian and global organizations. And also work towards building a level playing field for Indian startup ecosystem so that they become self-reliant and build world-class products and services. And obviously, none organization can survive without the principles. Then there are core principles we have to ensure an open, fair, neutral, and democratic digital ecosystem, to ensure freedom of choice of consumers, merchants, and organizations, to become the world's largest, most inclusive, self-reliant ecosystem for building digital products and services for domestic and international consumers, to listen to and understand the challenges. It's a very important thing. We want to listen and understand the challenges of the startup ecosystem and to become the voice of entrepreneurs for policymakers and regulators, to create a knowledge hub and repository of best practices for building digital products and services to strengthen the digital ecosystem's capabilities. This is about ADIF, and now we will come back to our today's topic, a very important one that is about protecting our brand, ads, privacy, and all that thing we are going to discuss today. So once again, thank you everyone for joining in. Let me introduce Ramesh Abhishek ji, who is the ex-secretary DPIIT, very senior person, and he advises ADIF officially. Rohan, who maps the India, runs a company Map My India. Murugavel, Bharat Matrimony, founder and CEO. Ashim Sood, Supreme Court advocate, and myself, Ajay Data, will remain your moderator as the time flows. Thank you very much for joining in. I welcome all of you to this very important discussion and a maiden discussion. Let me just set the context, and then I will leave you guys to give us some answers. Keyword are words or phrases that are used to match ads with the terms people are searching for in the search bar on Google, Bing, Firefox, wherever you want. The word we search is known as keywords. Selecting high quality, relevant keywords for advertising campaigns can help advertisers reach the right consumers at the right time. We know those examples, and I'm going to share some examples also. A keyword can be a single word or a phrase. For instance, let's take an example. one is looking to purchase a new jeans, a very common thing, they can type women's blue jeans into the search bar. Even though the phrase consists 3 words, it is still called a keyword. When businesses and advertisers select each keyword, they can choose how much they are willing to pay. Whenever a consumer searches on that keyword and clicks their ad, this is where the keyword maximum cost per click or CPC bid amount comes into picture. That's the core discussion today. If one or more advertisers are bidding on the same keyword, the Google deems relevant to the search query, the auction begins. Now there are two takers of the same word. Ads with a sufficiently high ad rank win and appear on the top of the search result. Ad ranks have many combinations: ad quality, ad rank thresholds, context, person search and his history, contextuality, expected impact of extensions, and ad formats. There are many things which could make you grow, not just the bidding price. Since the auction process is repeated for every search on Google, each auction can have a potentially different results depending upon the competition going on at that moment. To explain this, let me bring a problem, a statement. The uses and bidding on a company name specific keywords, and I have taken an example of Make by Trip, we all know, or a Matrimony or Map My India, and we have two people sitting here from Map My India and Matrimony who are the founders of those companies, allowed by Google. So what happens? So let us say if I am going to also run a company called Jaipur Matrimony or Map My India, and I add prefix or suffix something, how do I solve that my brand name, my trademark do not go to that other person, do not enter into my consumer base? When you allow, this results into the companies selling similar products and services to capitalize on the brand value of the companies mentioned above, I just mentioned. In order to continue to feature on the top of the search results, these companies may have had to shell out extra money to protect my own brand, which was otherwise, and bid my money to protect my own brand, who is trying to infringe and trying to enter into that. Let's take this as an example, and there are many cases, rulings, which our advocate friend is going to share about this. That's the context today. I think I have tried to explain this in most simpler possible in this technical word, and we will start with directly with the Rameshji itself. Rameshji, I think you have the most experience about the policies and everything. May I have your views on reading recent policies where not only we are forced to bid for own brand, but also pay for a transaction up to 30% fees, maybe in-app coverage or selling the digital goods. So what is your goods, and especially how do you see that products related to health advisory, yoga, education, and in the pandemic times adversely impact the country? Over to you, sir.
So far as this search issue is concerned, I think this is extremely serious. As we know, the IPRs protect a brand, the trademark or copyright. In this case, I guess it will be a trademark. But how this is going to be protected in a search environment is something that, even having spent so much time in the department, the issue never came up. Because I think this is relatively a new problem perhaps, or it has been flagged in a major way now. And I completely agree that unless we address this problem, our startups are definitely going to have a big challenge in their hands. I think whether this requires any amendment in the IPR laws to protect the incumbents from, again, paying so much money to prevent somebody else with a similar name from using the brand name's value, reputation, is something that we need to study. And if that be so, we can engage with the government and try to see if the IPR laws can be suitably amended. So far as this collecting fees is concerned, I think definitely this just shows that importance of having competition. Without competition, with monopolies, such problems arise. But then I think governments and regulators have to step in whenever they find that something is being, this monopoly or this dominance is being used uh, to their advantage and to the disadvantage of the small companies. Definitely, this needs to be flagged and studied and brought to the notice. Whether this is an issue for competition commission or this requires some other kind of intervention is something that I think needs to be studied. But definitely something should be done about it, because it's a question of providing a level playing field to our startups, and the laws, the regulations must change with the changing times. And while the big tech companies are providing important services, it's important to have level playing field. It's important to make sure that our entrepreneurs also don't face any unfair problem.
Very well said. And sir, you have raised some legal issues. And before I come to Asim to answer those with his views, let's hear Murugavel about his experience and how he faces and how his dollars are being pulled off from his company to protect his own brand. And share a little bit of your experience fighting off Google also in the past.
Hey,
What do
thank you,
you?
Ajay. Thank you, Ajay, and thanks for this opportunity. See, we started this fight with Google almost a decade ago, if not mistaken, because when you started, advertising on Google, and Google was actually in the globally protecting the brands when you want to bid for Nike or Adidas, and they did not allow, people to bid on those keywords. When you took up the issue, the Google said, no, it's kind of it's not applicable in India. That's kind of thing. They went to court. He got the interim injunction. Obviously, the case has been going on. Then they opened up saying that people can bid for the branded keywords, meaning your trademark also people can bid. So we have been fighting this case for very long time. Okay, and today many companies, be it Make My Trip, India Mart, Policy Bazaar, many companies who built a brand by investing crores of money and working hard for years and decades, and we built a brand. Today, what happened is we built a brand, and in order to protect our brands, we have to spend crores of money. Today, someone searching for BharatMatrimony.com or Bharat Matrimony, in order to ensure that we come on the top, we have to spend crores of money, because otherwise, what happens is that the competitors bid for those keywords. The two things Google does: one is that allowing people to bid for that their trademarks. Second thing is that Google also allowing people to use that trademarks on the advertisement, meaning people can say Bharat Matrimony in the advertisement. What Google Smart does is that they say which space is not a trademark, meaning Google is simply is deciding their own trademark policy. Say Bharat Space Matrimony is not a trademark, and Bharat Matrimony is a trademark. So basically, one thing allowing people to bid on the trademark, other thing when people can use Bharat Space Matrimony, then say that's allowed, even in the ad text. So, and the things like when you have two keywords like Bharat Matrimony, the most of people search for Bharat Space Matrimony. So obviously we have to spend money to protect our brand names, and the monies keep increasing because more and competitor comes in, keep Google keep increasing the bidding cost. So we have to do that. And look at the thing, Bharat Matrimony. In fact, I went to the name Bharat Matrimony because I didn't get India Matrimony as a name. Today, obviously, nobody search for India Matrimony because as a country, we're known for India. And Bharat Matrimony is what people are searching for. That clearly shows the brand is built, be it Bharat Matrimony, Tamil Matrimony. The thing is that it has been going for a very long time. That today many companies are joined and they've been fighting the case. One thing we're talking about, Ajay, we're talking about the search with respect to desktop and PWA. One thing that Google is smartly doing is that today most of the traffic is flowing through app ecosystem, which is a Google Play Store. But when it comes to Play Store, actually, there's no way you can decide which keywords. The Google decides. In fact, you can't even decide which keywords you want to bid for. So what happens? You have no control over which keywords and all those things. So they are actually removing the control of which keywords you want to bid for, how much you want to bid for. In fact, you can put a Play Store, you can put advertisement, you can only put the budget. So you have no control over where the budget being spent, how it is being sent and all those. I mean, like at least you have some control on desktop as well as on the PWA where you can choose the keyword, how much you want to bid in all those things, which is not even there in the the Play Store. That's another bigger problem. Meaning Google seems to be conveniently moving to this kind of model where you have no control over the keywords, how much you want to bid in all those. We can simply set up the campaign, put the budget. Only thing what you can control how much money you want to spend. You have no control over which keyword, how much you want to spend for the keywords and all those things. That's another bigger problem. So it's a serious issue. We build a brand and Google monetize the brand. So which is a very, very unfortunate situation. And again, they've been fighting the case for a decade. It's going on and it takes its own time. I'm sure eventually we'll get the result, but it's a very, very unfortunate situation where you end up in creating a brand where end up in spending crores of money and Google just enjoys it. And so that's unfortunate situation.
Thank you, Muru. And what I hear, two very important and very dangerous statements. One, Google deciding what is a trademark for their own, and what should be infringing. The value of code kind of reduced to when they decide about the trademark and protection. And secondly, there is no control over the App Store keywords. That's another very big area. And we know, as you have rightly said, the word is around apps. We like it or not, that's the fact of life today. And obviously, we are going to hear some solutions from Aseem. I'm going to keep Aseem from the solution perspective and some ideas, Aseem, but how the life is going to be much different than what it is today. We are going to hear from you. Let's hear Rohan, who maps the country. And congratulations, Rohan, for your alliance with ISRO and trying to do something for the country. We are very proud of what you are doing. I have shifted to Map My India app. I am very happy, and I would encourage everyone to shift to that. Let's hear your views, how you are put back and how your money is pushed into very difficult things and how you are fighting. What is your experience here?
Thanks a lot for the kind words and support of you all. Yeah, see, we deal with an extremely difficult situation where Google Maps entered India after Map India was already there. So 2004, we had the mapindia.com portal, and then they came with Android and preloaded Google Maps. So after 2, 3, 4 years. So in that sense, they are competitive to us, we are competitive, but they have the ability to force preload. Now we have to fight that one battle of preloading. And the second battle is what Google has started to do from long time ago, which is in the organic search results. They put a ad spot or ad inventory at the very top of the search results. Now, what happens is Google is scraping content from all websites to create its search engine and make consumers come to search for websites or companies on their search engine. Now, by putting that ad inventory spot at the top, where, for your own company's name, some consumer is searching in the browser, which Google forces browsers also to be preloaded onto Android and to desktops. So then user is wanting to search for a company, and in searching for that, the organic search result is below, the inorganic search result is on top. Now, even if user wants to search for Map My India, somebody else can put their ad on the top, and Google doesn't stop it. In fact, they encourage it. So my simple submission is, and I think Murugal really explained the whole Play Store. I don't even need to go there. My simple submission is, or what business do they have putting that ad inventory at the very top when somebody's putting a company keyword search? They should not be putting it on the top. You have built a search engine by scraping somebody else's content. You should not be allowed to then start a bidding war on their keywords. So these are the struggles we face. On one side, dealing with this preloading, forced preloading, and on the other side, then to even claw back some market share, and deal with this bidding war. So that's our genuine challenge that we are facing. I just thought I'll share my perspective.
Thank you, Rohan. And Aseem, and you are the man of an hour for us here to here, expecting some breather from you. What's going on in the courts? How the legal system is visualizing this? If there are some cases that you can share, if some learning from that, and after hearing these guys, and there are things which are happening already. You are aware. would like to share then what are the way forwards and how we should look at this entire journey.
Sure. So let me just start by saying that ultimately, I think Rameshji flagged the issue, which is that this is really an issue of competition. If there's a competitive market, if there's not one dominant player, then everything becomes negotiable. The moment there isn't a competitive market, the moment there isn't a dominant player, then one person gets to dictate all the terms. So when Rohan said that, how are they getting to do this? That's precisely how they're getting to do it, by a lack of complete competition. That's one aspect. And I think the answer to any kind of dominance only comes through the competition laws. Ultimately, what Murugavel has been facing for the last 10 years is a private remedy against a very large international company, which has deep pockets and is ready to fight to the end, because it's a matter of principle. For you can see it from Google's point of view. If they lose one of these cases, they start losing a lot of these cases. But so let me deal with the first issue, which is the AdWords issue. And let me start by saying that in India, we do have a very, very robust intellectual property protection regime in terms of our laws. We also have a very sophisticated judiciary when it comes to IP laws. Whether it's Delhi or whether it's Chennai, these high courts are very well versed in not only our laws, but also worldwide norms of what goes on. The issue of AdWords from an intellectual property perspective is a bit of a balancing act, because how do you preserve the need for competitors to be able to advertise their services, because we are talking about competition being beneficial. That would be for example, a competitor of Murugavel's who also has a matrimony website. How do you balance his need to advertise with an entrepreneur like him, who has put in several decades to build up a brand, who has done all the hard work, and then everybody is just using his brand as a platform to sell their goods? And it's important to remember one thing over here, which is that it's not like going to two different restaurants, right? It's not like if you like burgers in one place, you will go to that one place always to eat your burgers. The internet is a very different place. It's very easy to be distracted. It's very easy for somebody to move from one website to the other. If the website is offering a coupon giving you 100 rupees off on its services, you instantly move to that website. So AdWords that promote a website over your website are actually very dangerous in an internet context. The question is, what can you do to stop that? The first and fundamental thing in an intellectual property context is to show very clearly that you actually do have some kind of intellectual property, right? And I think that's the struggle that Bharat Matrimony faced in the Chennai High Court, which the Supreme Court finally resolved for it, at least at an interim stage, which is to say that Bharat Matrimony is actually a protected trademark in that sense. Now, what happens is that companies like Google, they look at names like Nike and Adidas, and they say this is obviously a trademark. But in India, matrimony is not a commonly used word. Somebody thought of that. Somebody combined it with the word Bharat Matrimony and came up with a trade name, which is not so common. So when the Madras High Court said that Bharat and matrimony are commonly used, I don't fully agree with that, because no one types, look, if I was to get married today, I wouldn't go on to Google and say, how will I have my matrimony? I'd say, how do I get married? Where do I find a wife? Matrimony was a very specific word. But what that comes down to is whether it's Map My India, whether it's Make My Trip, whether it's Bharat Matrimony, they all have to prove at the initial stage that this is intellectual property. Now, in India, this is something very important to understand. I said we have a very competent judiciary, but we also have a very slow judicial system. So what Murugavel and Map My Trip went through in their court cases is they had to go to court, and on the first day of hearing, they had to convince a court that this is intellectual property that belongs to us. So we want an injunction. That's the only way they could stop Google from leveraging their trade names for several years. Because by the time the case winds to an end, you heard this, is 10 or 15 years. And even if Bharat Matrimony if it did not have an injunction, and if it won its case 15 years from now, it's meaningless for them. So one is in an intellectual property regime where you need to lead evidence to prove that Google intended to use Bharat Matrimony in a way to drive up the price of everybody knows that people will bid more for Bharat Matrimony than for Bharat Wedding. Why is that? There's one simple reason: because there's an instant recognition with Bharat Matrimony, and Google is rightly stated by Ron, monetizing that. It's monetizing the hard work done by Bharat Matrimony to drive up the price on those two words. Now, to lead evidence that Google intended to do this takes 10 or 15 years to do. That doesn't work in an intellectual property context. And so it boils down to, in that one case, what that one judge feels about your trademark. In Murugavel's case, the single judge in the Madras High Court felt that Bharat Matrimony is a commonly used term, it's not protected by trademark. Make My Trip, it was the opposite, right? There's nothing wrong with that, because ultimately intellectual property remedies are private remedies. You have to bring a case if you believe that your property has been violated. But those private remedies can be frustrated by a very slow judicial system. So that's something, unfortunately, that's true across the board for India, but specifically in cases like this, where an intellectual property violation has an immediately damaging effect. So damages, you may get 20 crores later, but you want to make sure your competitors are not diluting your business today. So that slow judiciary is one issue. That's intellectual property. The other aspect is competition. I think that's the more important aspect, because ultimately there is only one dominant player. Everybody is surviving on their visibility in that player's platform. Whether it's Bharat Matrimony, I may be wrong, but very few people go and type into their bar www.bharatmatrimony.com, right? Everyone goes to the Google search bar and writes Bharat Matrimony, and therefore depends on finding Bharat Matrimony. The danger is that if Google, as the dominant player, distorts the market and sends you to another website, the internet market is one which is very sensitive to distraction. And so there have to be some rules drawn up to limit that distraction when somebody's done the hard work. And I think that's the main discussion to have, that how is that dominance to be reined in. So that's my 2 cents on the legal lay of the land, as it were.
So, Asim, before I go to Rameshji again, I have a legal question to you. On the basis of, you must be aware about a Delhi High Court recent order related to the Make My Trip issue.
Yeah.
Should Indian government or ASCI, that's an advising body, may consider to look at this issue and ensure appropriate guidelines and supervision may be ensured to avoid such kind of violations? What is your view on that?
Look, I think the short answer is yes, but the follow-up thought to that is, how do you do it? It's because these are ultimately, everybody is claiming that I have a trademark and somebody is claiming you don't have a trademark. And in that sense, Google ran a defense saying that, as Google, how do we decide whether Bharat Matrimony has a trademark in that phrase or not, right? So, which is why in the law there is a public law remedy and there's a private law remedy. And if you feel that your trademark has been violated, what I did say at the beginning was that we already have a very strong system to protect that. Now the question is, I do think that on principle, there are different rules for Indian players and there are different rules for global players. If you're a Nike, you probably get treated a little differently from if you're a Bharat Matrimony or MapMyIndia. We've seen that with how WhatsApp treats Indian users and European users, for instance, right? So I think there should be, number one, some kind of rule which ensures that India gets most favored nation status in any kind of policy. So if Google has a certain kind of policy for European users, right, which was also noticed in Justice Ramasubramanian's judgment in the Bharat Matrimony case, that there are different policies across different jurisdictions, then I think one good protection is to ensure that Google extends the most beneficial policy to Indian users that it is extending to any other global user. So that's one simple way to ensure that we are not getting discriminatory treatment. And what happens is that if there's global pressure on Google around the world to get its act together on this, then we do benefit from it rather than getting left out from it. So that's one possibility that we can think of. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, a lot of this comes down to balancing needs. There may be 2 Indian companies that have worked hard to create trademarks, right? There may be Bharat Matrimony and Shadi. And they might come out and you might find a situation where both of them have some kind of justifiable claims. So, in that sense, a private law remedy has to be left to the evidence of that particular case. And the trouble always is that the evidence of that case takes 10 to 12 years to come in our system. So, but on I think on a more global level, if we ensure that certain standards are made applicable to us, like a most favored nation standard, then we would always be at least safe from discriminatory treatment. So that's one thing.
Yeah, I think, and I'm encouraging to discuss this point with Rameshji also from the government perspective. And to that question, Rameshji, to you, I'm going to also add one more point of view from your side. So my first question, which I put to Asim also, is that should advertising body ASCI or the Delhi High Court order, based on the Delhi High Court order, should we appropriate guidelines, supervisor guidelines for such violations? And another thing, which is the Indian startup ecosystem. Do you think we all should get together, represent to government? If yes, then to which body? And ensure that digital platforms are also part of that and discuss this out and find a solution to us instead of just we keep talking in this panels and nothing happens.
On this issue of IPRs, Asim has made a very fair point. There are two things I can immediately think of. As you know, the commercial courts and commercial benches in high courts have been set up now, and IPR is one of those commercial cases. So that it can be one way of fast tracking the disposal of such cases. Secondly, the training of judges in IPR matters is something that has been done in the past, but I think one can do more because many of these issues may be unfamiliar to a very large number of members in judiciary also. So this is a kind of work that can be taken up in the state judicial academies and national judicial academies to bring about more awareness and knowledge on how to deal with such cases. So far as taking this matter to ASCI is concerned, I'm not very familiar with their work because guidelines, as you know, are only guidelines. They cannot be enforced. So I think it's always good to have guidelines. Definitely, it puts moral pressure, if not anything else. And later on, guidelines also lead to regulations. Hopefully, so definitely that area should be covered. But I think Competition Commission definitely is a body because of market dominance of one or two players is some in the agency that should be tapped. I think there is a strong case because unless an issue is raised and escalated, obviously it will not attract attention. I mean, I had not heard of this issue, though I was implementing Startup India program. So I think there is a need to create awareness. And whereas Murugavel has saying that he's dealing with this problem for last 10 years. So definitely government stakeholders must be sensitized. The issue should be taken up very strongly. And I think a background paper quoting the practices of other countries, and Asim has made another excellent point, that whatever are their policies and practices in various countries, they should adopt the most favorable one for the local companies in India. And that is something that one can really put pressure on. See, these companies, they interact with the government for so many things. So once the government is sensitized, they will also bring up these matters when they go for discussing so many other issues. So I think sensitizing the government departments, as well as Competition Commission, ASCI is something that should be done immediately. And this, I think, is a very important topic that needs attention at a very high level.
Sir, one more question which I raised is, do you advise startup ecosystem to represent government for such matter? And if yes, then where?
See, this has to be, this definitely, that's what I'm saying, that it has to be represented. The DPIIT is a nodal department for startups. So that definitely the matter should be taken up with them because they will pursue with the concerned department. But since there is no clarity here, or who all are involved. So I think Ministry of Information Broadcasting perhaps is definitely should be part of the picture. Competition Commission, Ministry of Electronics and IT, I think all these should be associated. And we should consult with Department of Justice and even Supreme Court to get some training programs on this issue also.
This is a very good takeaway for me personally to work in ADIF with our team members, me and Maru, myself together, to have these two actionable for sure. One is to talk to the justice system and let them be aware. This is a very important point. If the matter goes there, then at least they are aware what we are talking about. This is extremely important, and then raise our issue to other points. So I am coming to Muru again. What is your view, Muru, when uh, we are fighting this case related to the trademark? So obviously, and some companies, some startups will not have the trademarks also, right? And we are building a startup ecosystem, which thanks to Rameshji to create a thriving startup ecosystem in the country. Not everybody will spend money on trademarks. How do they protect them? What is your view? Let me hear everybody. What is your view? Everybody is here. Let's start, Muru, from you.
Okay, thanks, Ajay. While I've been fighting the case for last 10 years, we not got the remedy yet. Still, we type whether with space Bharat Matrimony, without space Bharat Matrimony. People are still bidding for it. And Google still allow, people can even in the ad text, people can put with space and they can claim Bharat Matrimony. So it's not got the remedy yet. So this case is on. With a company like Bharat Matrimony, one of the early entered in the internet space, 20 years, a public company, we not got remedy yet, instead of having a trademark. And Google says, when the ad text, when you put Bharat space matrimony, it's not a trademark. Now you can bid for even without space also you can bid for it. The case is on. And how many companies won't have the ability? Again, it's left to the individual judges how the people interpret the IPR thing. But the Make Metric got the remedy, interim injection against one of the companies. Again, how people see it also, Ajay. It's like it's a different, people are interpreting different way. Until then final verdict comes. Still in all interim injection level, we've not got any final verdict yet. As Azim said, Google has a deep packet. It's kind of can go for ever and ever and all till you get one final verdict that can possibly can change how that the trademark can be protected in the Google Play system. So that's the issue. Okay, whether it's any early remedy, any other way, something we have to figure it out. But again, it's been going on. And also other things about when it comes to other startup. Even tomorrow, if you're able to protect trademark, but today getting even trademark is not the DC. It doesn't take an apply for the trademark. Forget about generic name. Tomorrow come out some acronym, whatever it is, all the thing. It takes so many years to get the trademark. So what happened till that time? So okay, even tomorrow, even assume that the verdict comes in our favor, the final verdict where that the Google should not allow the trademark to be bid and all those things. So the getting the trademark itself is a very long process. Some other trademark applied 10 years ago. We not even got any final outcome yet. So there's no final time frame for deciding on the trademark. Okay, we apply for the trademark, the decision to be made within 1 year or 2 years. So that's also taking a very long time. There's no way to push it or get it in all those. That's another issue. So one hand you have the trademark misuse by the Google. Other hand, getting the trademark also is taking a very long time. So these are the issues again. Hopefully things will get better. I think probably as Mr. Rameshji said, you have to probably meet government or probably figure out how some other things can be expedited. So it's a challenge, no doubt about it. So for a company like us, 20 years, 10 years, we not got the remedy yet. Startups and all, let's forget about it. So
Asim, your question, the same question to you, along with one more question,
Yeah.
and that is, let's say I am having a trademark, and I have been bidding for my own trademark to Google to protect my own trademark
Yeah.
for last 5 years, and I have win a case. Can I file a compensation for that amount which I have paid?
Yeah. So let me answer both these questions. Number one, I think having a trademark is not really the main issue here. It's the ability to enforce your trademark. So under our law, you can have trademark protection under an action called passing off, even if you have not registered the trademark, as long as you show that it has been in prior use and has acquired a distinct flavor in the market. So having the trademark, even if Bharat Matrimony didn't have a registered trademark today, no one could seriously go to a court and say that it's not, they don't have a right in law to the term Bharat Matrimony. The trouble is, of course, enforcing it. And again, there you can have a very well protected and registered trademark. But if you're a startup that's spending all your money on your human resources, on your code, on fighting the competitive digital world that is out there, you certainly don't have the money to enforce your trademark. right? You don't have the money, you don't have the time, and you're not going to take on Google. You'll just let things run and hope that things work out for you, and that your product will speak for itself. That's just the sad reality. Second answer is, normally all trademark suits also carry an element, also carry a claim for compensation. Unfortunately, so even in the, I'm sure I haven't read the suit, but even in the Bharat Matrimony suit, there will be a claim for injunction preventing them from doing this, but also a claim for damages. The trouble there is also in the Indian context, our judges are so used to low damages, right? Uh, in the US, for instance, you have these notions of exemplary damages where, the famous story is the McDonald's coffee fetched several $1 million for someone. But even on a more mundane level, you're hit in a traffic accident, the insurers end up paying up millions of dollars sometimes. Indian courts, fortunately or unfortunately, have not developed our law to the point where the quantum of damages is a deterrent to wrongdoers. So that's why I said Google, as long as it fights off the injunction on day one, knows that at the end of the trial, the damages it will have to pay will probably be a few crores, if not less. So damages are always available, but generally in India, damages are not quantified at a deterrent level. So that is certainly something that also needs to be looked at. So I hope that answers your two questions on that.
Yeah, for sure. Rameshji, before we wrap up in next 4 5 minutes, we would like to hear your words of guidance, words of wisdom for the startup ecosystem and people like Muru and Rohan and myself who own trademarks, and we do not get into that trap. Should we stop just using Google? It's not the answer, right? So this is where we have to survive in the system. How do we move further?
No, my suggestion will be that when we approach these various agencies in the government, we should go with a suggestion of how this can be remedied. For example, if we want some amendment in the IPR laws, if it is considered that it is going to be useful, then we should actually go there with a draft amendment. We should liberally quote the practices of other countries which have provided more just and equitable system in this regard, or we go to competition commission. We should go with some formulation. Otherwise, within the government and regulators also, I mean, there's always lack of enough capacities and time to deliberate and to finalize or think of some way of solving the problem. So we should go there with some draft solutions based on some research and discussion with all the stakeholders, especially our startup founders, and suggest to them what can be done. I know, under Copyright Act, there is a provision for Copyright Board now merged in the Intellectual Property Appellate Board to provide some compensation, or they fix a price beyond which the owner of the copyright cannot charge. I'm just thinking aloud whether we should contemplate having some system like this and empower the Intellectual Property Appellate Board to have some such powers. It's just a thought. Maybe Asim will have more knowledge of this, but this is
That's a
something that
wonderful thought. It's something really worth paying attention to. I hadn't thought of it that way. It's quite an insight.
Great. Thank you, Asim. So we would request you also to look at this angle, and when you guide us in future, then this angle can be also covered. Rohan, coming to you, you have been thinking. So I have let you thought and a thinking hat on your head. How do you perceive these things coming in future, and any suggestions, any ideas which you think is going to help all of us here?
I mean, I think anything short of asking, I mean, we can only request the government and we can request Google. We have to request Google to play fair, and we have to request the government to make sure Google plays fair. Like I said, in my opinion, the root cause of all this is them perpetuating their monopoly from search to browsers to App Store and apps, and their ability to place ad inventory above organic search results, when in fact the organic search results are as a result of scraping content. So I think these fundamental things, if they can be put in place with all the amazing suggestions, I think both Ramesh sir and Asim put, and what Murugan sir said, hopefully, we can tip the balance back in favor of a fair ecosystem, good for Indians, good for everybody else. So that's just my few cents.
No, Rohan, what you said is two entities, government and Google, And Google seem to be lately with deep ears, not listening. The 30% issue turned to 15% is like a eye wash only, nothing else. When MDR is 1%, 1.5%, you are trying to charge 15% from those startups who are also paying you for advertising. Is like taking away 50% of the revenue from that startup directly. It is similar to that. So basically, we have to go to the government and request and pray and take help if some policy can be done. Otherwise, the courts, right, which are there, which takes obviously a lot of money to fight those battles. This is what I'm hearing. Muru, last words from you.
Yes, Ajay, it's definitely the issue you spoke about the Google billing. In fact, my view is that the Google and Apple put together, they became a super government of the world. Well, the government in India charges 18% GST, which is obviously the right thing to do because a citizen of country, patriotic citizen, paying tax is good for the government. Obviously, only the government can function. Google deciding that you have to pay 30% of your revenue to me, and otherwise, you cannot run the app. In the sense that otherwise you can't have any payment solution. So you have to use only my in-app billing. You have to pay 30% of revenue to me. It's all definitely abusing the monopoly, and they are becoming very dangerous to the Indian startup consumers, and even tomorrow, this kind of thing can come in other ways. While they start off with certain, you know, sector and certain type of people in the certain industries, and going further, they can widen it. So it's definitely a high handedness of Google, and these are very, very serious in nature. Government took a view of this kind of thing. Okay, they are becoming much bigger than the government and all those things. In a way that while the government charges 80% GST, which is the right thing, obviously paying tax, obviously no complaint about it. 30% revenue, and they give you some revenue 15%. Is more like becoming an East India company. Okay, you pay tax on the income what you make, and rather than being a fair play to the startups and consumers, allow people to use what are the payment gateway they want to use, and allow consumer to decide which payment gateway they want to use, rather than enforcing that they have to use only Google in a building and pay 30%. It's definitely abusing the monopoly to the core, which is very, very serious in nature. I hope the government takes a view of it. It's all starting. I don't know where all this is going to end. Okay, they already are $1 trillion company. The way they're growing, they're becoming like they're large in size. They have the ability to do many things. So it's because today internet is the way of life. It's a basic like water, and today the internet is controlled by two things: Google and Apple, and they're deciding on okay, you have to pay so much. And today they can save many companies. They can pay today say health sector or fintech or a services. Tomorrow they can widen. You pay 10%, 20%. Imagine that it's not only India. It's worldwide. Mean the kind of look at the kind of power they want, what they can uh, try to do with this kind of monopoly they have and all those things. So in my view, is that the app ecosystem should be controlled or monitored or regulated by the government. Should not be the hands of Google, in my view, because there's issue what happened. Paytm app was removed. Today, you're all at the mercy of Google. One on the billing side, more running of the application. I think, in my view, that it has to become a central body, regulated by central body, because considering that internet is the way of life, internet is the basic basic facility everyone should have and all those things. So that being the case, it has to be looked at that angle, Ajay.
No, you are rightly said. Roti, kapda, makan, and internet.
Yeah.
This is kind of a thing which we are in today's time, and COVID time has proved it absolutely correct, right? And one more thing I think we need to also tell to the government is, and I truly believe this COVID time, if you see the positivity, the digitization, the adoption of digitization in the normal people's life has gone accelerated 10 times. I truly believe, and I see around my team members who were not very acquainted to the digital life, now have they become acquainted to the digital life because of the COVID. So you have squeezed 10 years of adoption in 1 year. Now, obviously, the policies have to also support those kind of changes. Now, coming to and these are all not aware about this 30% thing and the trademark and protection of this, and suddenly you become big, and then you see that you stand nowhere. You are gone already.
Yeah.
We need to really protect. So before we end, I'm going to give floor this open for all of you. If you want to ask any question from each other, let's do that. If not, then we will start with Rameshji to give your last remarks, and we will then end the session. We will start with Rameshji.
One more suggestion I have is that we should also consider whether we should suggest to the government to form a law to regulate this entire activity. It should be, see, so much is done in USA to protect small businesses. Here we are talking about small businesses, including startups. So we have a small business administration in US. So I think government can perhaps make a law. So in addition to other remedies that we are considering, we should also consider that as to what could be the provisions of that law, how this will work, and again do some research on whether there are similar regulations around the world. I think that could be one of the better, more effective options.
Muru, to you, please. Last
Yeah,
comment.
yes. Ajay, we say if you have to pay 30% to Google, then on top of it, you're spending around 20% of advertising money to Google, then 18% GST, and 30% what you are left with. And the cost of running a business in India, obviously, so India is not everything online, offline, people, other things. Imagine that, what kind of, possibility or, thing the companies have run the enterprise in India. So that's a big challenge, not only for matrimony, any company for them. At least the company like is established. Even we don't have that kind of profit margin, okay? And how it's possible to give a 30% to Google again? Not in matrimony, many companies. So that's a challenge we're fighting.
Rohan.
Now, I'll just say it's a long fight, and we all should continue doing it together till the time we achieve the results. So, yeah.
Thank you. Asim. And you should know that, Asim, what you are going to say, press is listening this, media is listening this. So give us something very powerful which government also adopt to.
Well, I think fundamentally there has to be a realization that monopoly distorts everything. There's just no, you can make any number of laws. If you're a monopolist, you're like a big shark caught in a fishnet, you'll break through. And ultimately, if you can't control a monopolist, no law is going to be enough. And I think what that couples with is another issue, which is that there is a competition commission, but maybe we need a specialized competition commission for technology or online businesses, because the issues that are presented are not traditional issues. And we need people who understand these issues at a global level. So I would encourage dealing with this in a competitive sense.
Thank you very much, Asim. What comes from Rameshji, you and my friends Rohan and Muru, Competition Commission is probably the short-term, immediate place to go, and of course request government to have multiple competition commissions for dealing with these issues of technology or IPR, whatever the framework can come up. But this is a great idea to go to, and I would like to just thank everyone, thank the panelists for participating in this very important discussion. It's just a start to start this discussion in the country, and we will do many more discussions around that. And sir, Rameshji, we'd like to tell you that we will discuss this under your guidance, and we will build something to take it to the government. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you, Rameshji. Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for organizing this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.